the next losers on our list is the Miami backfield, Mostert and Achane, and I'm gonna defer to you here first because I don't really know what to make of this backfield. I'm kind of struggling to put my thoughts together, just simply because I think there's reason to believe like there's a legitimate case for all three of these guys to get work in this backfield. So I'm having a hard time piecing together where I think this is going to go. So I'm interested to hear what you have to think.
And I think it's a great way to look at it. And what I've started to do more and more as I played more and more fantasy is if it's tough to pick out exactly how it's going to go, but you could see an upside scenario for legitimately all of them, I always will go with whoever's the cheapest. Last year, if you were following that philosophy with this backfield, you got Devon Achane at like pick 160 because it was Jeff Wilson and Mostert, and the path is going to be ugly and crowded, and he's never going to get on the field. Once he got on the field, he had a 50-point day, and it was off and running. And I saw your question, Krana, about Jaylen Wright here. I'm in love with Jaylen Wright. Certainly in rookie drafts, he's become my kind of locked-in running back in the second round. If Benson or Brooks is there, I go them. But number 3 for me is Jaylen Wright in rookie rankings. But I also love him at 140 right now in best ball because of that idea that all he's going to take is getting onto the field. And sure, yeah, I'd rather have Mostert and Achane, but at the price tags, I don't know that I think so. Right after drafting Jaylen Wright, we saw the clip of Mike McDaniel going nuts. He traded up for this guy. He talked about how, that's the type of thing where I always look at an offensive mind like him, somebody I just respect on all levels. He knows exactly what he wants to do on offense. He knows the exact type of players that are going to get that done for him. And then he goes and trades up for Jaylen Wright. It's clear that if and when Jaylen Wright steps on the field, he's going to be perfect. And you read the scouting report on Jaylen Wright, it's all about how as soon as he gets a crease, he is gone. Nobody's catching him. And who creates better creases than whether it's in the running game, the zone blocking and the wide zone scheme, or whether he comes from the Kyle Shanahan tree, was the run game coordinator, Mike McDaniels, of that offense. This has been a gold mine backfield year in and year out. And so if the blocking scheme or as just pass catchers in this backfield, we saw Wright play 10% of his snaps in the slot there. So I think absolutely Wright is a threat here because a offensive genius went out and made sure to go get him. He fits exactly what this offensive genius wants to do. And so I do think he's going to get onto the field eventually. And once he does, I wouldn't be shocked if he takes the keys from at least Mostert at this point. And maybe it becomes an injury thing. We saw Achane get hurt throughout last year. We know Mostert at age 32 has dealt with his injury concerns. So I thought those, it was a tricky situation anyways. But I think Jaylen Wright is a humongous wrench to throw in here because I do think once he gets his opportunity, he's not looking back. And so there's those builds where I don't love my running backs. I can't count on the usage. So I'll often go Zeke in that range. But if I have like 3 running backs where I feel pretty good about them and I'm just looking for an upside injection, there's nobody I like better as a running back 4 or 5 right now than Jaylen Wright. So I am huge in on him. I love his price. I love the player. I love the offense he's in. I know he's got 2 names in front of him, so it might take a little while to get there, but he definitely strikes me as the type of guy that mid-season, or you're looking at like, who did you need to have in the stretch run of best ball? It's Jaylen Wright came the starter at week 13 and became just a 25. Yeah, I think he could do maybe not exactly what Achane did last year, but like 54 points. Okay, maybe not, but I could see 30-point days out of Jaylen Wright. And at pick 140, there's just no one more that has that type of upside, especially at running back. So I guess this turned into less about Mostert and Achane being losers and more about my love affair for Jaylen Wright. But I guess that tells you why I think those 2 guys could also be losers, because I just do think that Jaylen Wright fits everything these guys want to do so well, and that could come at the expense of Mostert and Achane for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there's a lot of research out there, specifically if I look to the stuff from JJ Zacharyson, the ambiguous backfield stuff, just taking value. There's value in taking the least expensive guys in some of these confusing backfields. And obviously Wright has massive contingent value within this offense and as the backup to Mostert and Achane. And I think this is the prices of these guys are going to be highly debated throughout the offseason. And I want to have exposure to all 3 of these guys. But like I said earlier, yeah, it's really tough to make a care to decide where you think this backfield is going to go. And I think I'm going to get on board with just taking the cheapest guy because the gaps between all 3 of these guys are absolutely enormous. I mean, you've got You've got Achane going in the 20s. You've got Mostert going just after pick 100, and then you've got Wright going after pick 140 in a lot of drafts. So I think investing in the cheapest guy is smart, but I will not get caught dead without my fair share of Devon Achane on my teams this year. So I mean, it's just looking like you're going to have to get these guys dispersed throughout a lot of your rosters.
Yeah, by no means was my gushing for Jaylen Wright suggesting I don't want to take the other guys, because I totally agree. It's one of the rare backfields where you don't have that guy in week 15 and it's Achane that decides to go for 45. Boom, you're caught with your tail.
Your
11 times last year in this backfield. Only Christian McCaffrey matched that in terms of just teams. San Fran, they averaged 137.5 rush yards per game. That was 5th in the league, 1.5 touchdowns on the ground per game, 3rd, 25 total running back fantasy points per game. And then you just, again, just to reiterate with Jaylen Wright, 8 yards a carry, 4.53 yards after contact, 10 plus yards. 26% of his rushes went for 10 or more yards. They had 19 rushes of 15 plus yards. The guy is an absolute animal. So just wanted to reiterate again my love for him. I think it is a gold mine fit for him. And like you said, go for the cheapest guy in those cases. So I love Jaylen Wright. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.